If you refuse to give consent to search, does that make you look guilty? When I started law school, I remember a professor asking me this question, and my thought was, yeah, it makes you look more guilty if you're not going to say, sure, search my vehicle, search my house. What do I have to hide? The reality is, if you say no, that is not going to be held against you. In fact, it is the officer's job to develop the appropriate level of proof, if that proof exists, to get into whatever search they want to conduct. So for example, if they want to search your car, they have to establish probable cause to get into your car and conduct a search under most circumstances. Of course, there are exceptions, but if you give them consent, there's no level of proof required. They can just ask for consent, go in and search your vehicle. So don't give consent. That's not one of the things that they can later put into an affidavit for search warrant as a basis to conduct the search. They can say, hey, here are the things that lead me to believe there is evidence of a crime in the vehicle or in the home. But one of the factors the judge considers will not be, oh, by the way, he refused to give me consent to search. The reality is you should always refuse to give consent. And that includes at the roadside if an officer is asking you for breath or a blood sample to show whether or not you were intoxicated. For many reasons. One, we can always attack whether or not probable cause existed in the affidavit for search warrant. Second, there are a number of reasons why an innocent person would say no. First, they have a friend or a family member or someone they trusted who was an attorney who told them never give consent. Second, there are lots of reasons. For example, in a blood draw case, a person may not give consent. They might be afraid of needles. By refusing to give consent, you are not interrupting the criminal investigation. It is the officer's job to establish probable cause if that officer believes it exists. That's their job. Let them do their job. You don't have to make their job easier for them by giving consent. You may think you have nothing to hide, but the reality is very few people are carefully watching their passengers when they get in their car, what may have been left behind, what may have legitimately been left behind. So for example, if you have someone in your car that leaves behind a prescription pill that they were prescribed, they didn't do anything illegal, they just forgot it or dropped it in your car. If an officer finds that in your vehicle, that completely innocent act can now land you in hot water because you don't have a prescription for that. And you are now in possession of a controlled substance, which most prescription controlled substances in Texas begin at felony offenses. So don't give consent. You just never know what that can lead to, even if you believe you've done nothing wrong. We made this video in response to a question we received on this channel. If you have a question about criminal law in Texas or federal criminal law, don't hesitate to reach out. You can leave us a comment below. You can also find us on versestexas.com or give us a call at 817-203-2220.